What's up everyone, Muzi Beat here, and today we're gonna be mixing and mastering a beat. Now before I get started with this video, I'm gonna say something very controversial, and a lot of you are gonna be in my comments saying that no, you should master your beats, but personally, I don't like to master my beats. I don't like the way it sounds. I try to get it as loud as possible during the mixing process, but then let me know in the comments what your mixing chain is and how you master your beats through your mastering chain. I'd love to hear it. Let's not waste too much time, let's get right into the video. Now before we start mixing, let's hear what the beat sounds like first. So first things first, to mix and master a beat in FL Studio, you need to be able to make sure that you've linked everything on your channel rack to your mixer track. Now to do this, all we have to do is open up the channel rack by clicking that button there. We'll drag down from the sampler by left clicking. Make sure that all these boxes here are highlighted. We're gonna go into the mixer, and then where it says insert one here, we're gonna click on that. Command Shift L or Control Shift L. All that will do is it will lay everything out. Now these are all the sounds I had on my channel rack, and these are the sounds we're gonna be mixing. Let's start off with our melody. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna right click on our melody here, and all this does is that it solos it. Now when I play, it's gonna be the only thing playing. Now first things first, when I'm mixing my melody, what I like to do is, above all else, we have to put an EQ on it. Why the EQ is important is because every single sound has its own frequency range that you want it to mainly set in. Why I open up an EQ is because I like to cut out most of the bass frequencies so that the 808 and the bass we have, or the sub bass we have in this beat, can mainly sit there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna right click here on presets until we get to 20 Hz plus 18 Hz cut, and then from here we're just gonna drag out until maybe about 145, 139, 140 Hz around there, and then we're just gonna cut out some of the lows. As I said before, I've cut out half of the bass frequencies just so that our 808 and our bass will live in the sub bass frequency, and then the melody and the bass will not be clashed. Next, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a little bit of reverb just so that we can make the sound a little bit wetter, or we can just give it a little bit more room. I'm gonna go to more plugins. We're gonna open up Valhalla Supermassive, and then from here we're just gonna go to presets, reverbs, small, space verb 99, and then we're just gonna reduce the mix level down to maybe even 10%. This is what our melody sounded like before. Then this is what it sounds like now. Next, we're gonna mix our bass sounds, which in this beat particularly we have a sub bass and an 808. So for our sub bass, let me play what it sounds like right now. I like how it sounds great, but I feel like it just sounds like it does not have a lot of high-end distortion. So we're gonna do what we did first for the melody. We're gonna grab an EQ, go to presets, continue scrolling until we get to 20 Hz plus 18 Hz cut, and then for our bass, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut off like 22 Hz. Now why we do this is because this is low-end rumble and we don't exactly really need it in the beat. Next, as I said, we need a little bit more distortion in the bass, so we're gonna open up Wave Shaper, so Fruity Wave Shaper, and then you see how this is just a straight line. All we're gonna do is we're just gonna left click and we're just gonna get it to curve a little bit. Now it's gonna add some distortion to our bass, so this is what it's gonna sound like. We have our 808. I'm gonna mute the bass, so this is what our 808 sounds like. Before you cut off some of the low end, especially when you're dealing with the bass and the 808, what it can do is it can make the instrument louder. So what I like to do first before I open up my EQ, especially if my 808 is this loud, I just reduce the volume a little bit, and then I open up the EQ, and then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut off 25 Hz again, and then we're gonna cut off some of the high end. What we're gonna do next is we want our bass to be in the middle. So what we do, or what we call this in music production, or in most music actually, we put it in mono. Now to put something in mono in FL Studio, there's this little knob here below these volume things, and we just left click and turn it to the right 100%. And next I'll just reduce the volume. I feel like the 808 is a little bit too loud. I like how that sounds. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna mix our drum sounds. So let's start off with our clap. I've soloed the clap right here. What I like to do with my clap is I like to make sure that it's smacking and it sits above everything else in the mix. So I'll open up my EQ and I'll go to the 7th band here, and I'll probably boost it maybe even by like 3 dB. We have our hi-hats here. I won't really do much with the hi-hats. I'll maybe even pan it to the left a little bit by like maybe 12%, and then I'll reduce it. Next we have our open hat. I'll pan it to the right too by 11%, and I'll just reduce it. I want our open hat to like be an accent sound. I don't want it to get in the way of any of the main instruments. Next we have our snare. Oh, this is our rim shot, my bad. We'll just reduce the volume of this. And I'll pan it to the left. I'll do the exact same thing with the snare. This snare has quite a bit of low end in it, so we're gonna open up an EQ, and then we're just gonna cut off most of this low end here. Yeah, so that's how I'll mix these drum sounds. At this point of the video, this is where a lot of producers will go into detail of how they master their beats. Some producers master their beats by either putting a soft clipper on their master or at the end of the master, or they put a limiter which allows them make sure that everything is at 0 dB, and then they can increase the volume as much as they want to, ensuring that everything still stays at 0 dB. Personally, I don't master my beats, and this is because I've been taking a course from Chambers, and during Chambers' mixing process, how to mix your beats without needing to master them. So now this is what the final beat sounds like. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, you're a legend. If you want more FL Studio based tutorials, click on any of that pop up right in front of my face, and I'll see you in the next video.